decals came in. We gotta get the plastics cleaned up, throw the new ones on. Like to get all the polish and everything else off of them, and then we'll some rubbing alcohol, get them completely air dry. Get the hair dryer out, heat gun, kind of warm them up, soften them up, and lay them out.
Mom, how do we make a lowercase h? Like an H?
I think I got some of these decals kind of set. The Pitbike's been clean, plastics anyways. I prep it with like a glass cleaner. I like running a cotton ball with some rubbing alcohol over it just to really make sure it's clean, and then I don't know if a person was concerned, maybe throw on some gloves before you start handling stuff. One thing I'm finding, I'm liking heating things up, the surface with it, and get a little bit easier set. Makes it a little easier removing air bubbles, and then trimming the backings kind of in different areas that you want to stick it, so it gives you a little more freedom to grab the rest of the sticker. Can help improve placement. So kind of give you a time lapse of me going through all of this stuff, at least for the number plate, and then we'll try and capture some footage on some of the other parts. I'm going to try and line up the hole first, kind of get it in even amount of decal around it. Sometimes I think visually that works pretty well, and when I overlaid it, I had similar clearance on both sides around the edge of the number plate. What I'm doing here is peeling it back, and then I'm going to cut off the first chunk. This allows me to have it partially stuck. I can grab all of this and wiggle it around. It makes it a little bit nicer. It's better if I do it this way for you guys. I'm going to start it here and kind of press it down. Videos on wraps, like vehicle wraps, the vinyl wraps, I think is really the best way to kind of get the concept. I would not advise stretching, or the first few times really try to be conscious to not stretch the decal. You'll get a feel for how much you need for each piece. Number plates, you don't have much leeway on corner pieces, fairings, radiator shrouds, things like that. You've got a little more leeway. Fenders. But now I'm just kind of going down the decal, making sure that I don't have any bubbles, any wrinkles, any things of that nature. The tool that I use is a guitar pick that's kind of rounded. I think it actually came with a cell phone screen protector kit or something that I got at some point. But, so I'm going to gently lift the rest of the backing and fold this over. I'm going to go ahead and lay this down, and again, just to make everything easier to work with. Now once I've got it anchored pretty well, I feel a little bit more comfortable just kind of peeling it back and pushing down little wipes. I probably am pushing harder than a person needs to. The glue and adhesive will do its thing. I don't remember what mill these decals were, the graphics kit, but I think I've used a 9, an 11, or a 15, and a 21. The thinner ones are easier to kind of stretch and fit and kind of fudge around shapes. The thicker ones, in my opinion, if you heat them up, they're really, really nice to work with, go on really nice. But that's pretty much it. I'm gonna, before I take off this top to actually do a full reveal, I'm gonna heat it up one more time just to help set the adhesive, just see if there's any of the wrinkles.
Air bubble. That one's not pretty well. Number plate's pretty easy. It's one circle. You have curves and gaps and short up. Bearings and tanks, shrouds and decals.
That looks pretty good. I don't see anything on here. I don't feel anything. Cool. Well, let's take this thing off. Crazy, in the decals there's a boom box in here, and man, I'm pretty sure when I was little I had one that was pretty close to like almost exactly like it, right? Because of course they all look the same. There you go. That's it for this decal. It's got kind of a goofy shape to it, so I think I'm going to try and do this in a couple of pieces. I'm going to go ahead and heat this up. It's been prepped all the same. I like to lay it like this to see where the bends are, to give me kind of an idea as I'm laying it where it needs to start. Point would be if I started this all the way up at this edge, this body line might not match quite as well. And that doesn't look bad, but if that's not what you were intending, sometimes it's nice to kind of get an idea. You can kind of feel the flat part, and then where the curve begins is really where this decal is designed, or where it was printed to fit. So if that gives you kind of a starting point, I've seen some people set a little, like a Sharpie dot that will get covered by the decal so that you know a starting point, and then match a corresponding point on your decal. Sometimes that can be helpful. The way this is going to go on, I think I'm going to put, essentially, this is all going to go on in one piece. I'll peel this middle piece off on the backing, and then this will come off on one as one, and this will come off as the other. So to do that, I'll show you how I'm going to prep the decal. I haven't really heated this, but I want to be able to show you this. So I'm going to pull this back, again, try to keep everything as clean as possible. And then I'm going to go ahead and just snip. So now I've got a separate decal, but it's all one piece, and I want to do that to the other side. When the first decal kits came out, they were pretty, it was almost just like poor lamination or something on packaging tape. So it made it really difficult just to manipulate and peel the backing off and put it back on. This stuff, it works really, really well. So you feel pretty comfortable kind of manipulating things into pieces like this. But now I'll be able to pull and stick the middle section all the way, have it centered, and then these won't be stuck, and then I can fit them separately. So let's go ahead and heat it up.
this decal in a couple of steps. I'm really only going to do the warm up and the just for the first section. And then we heat up the second piece of it.
Sometimes folding it like this so that there's less contact point or less of the decal to contact at one point can make it easier for better placement. There's enough curvature to this front fender that I'm going to pinch this middle line just like we did the front forks. And then I'm going to roll it across one side. I can feel where the backing is folded over. Gives me a nice kind of reference seam, and then I can push this out, no air bubbles, no wrinkles. You guys ever wonder if like the fads, the times at some point they'll, you know, like patina and distressed auto body finish will have like scratched up, scuffed up, wrinkled decals at some point. That'll be a thing. Alright, now we kind of just peel the rest of this back, fold it back into chunks. The nice thing is the parts I don't want stuck aren't stuck. Run this back. Comfortable feeling. Feeling good. We'll run this all the way up, see what happens. Famous last words, right? This decal's pretty thick. This has got to be at least a 15. I wouldn't be surprised if this maybe even like a... It's hard to tell with this other thing on it, but this feels pretty thick. 15, 18, something like that. Pretty nice decals. These came off of Amazon, I think they were. I feel pretty good about this. I don't feel any. I have like an air bubble right here. Peel this. That air bubble out. Should be able to just kind of peel it back and then reset this, and now that bubble is gone. That wrinkle. Oh, so now let's heat this up. So if I just push this decal down, it doesn't really fit where I want it to. I want it to fit this body line right about here, and then fill this little bend, fold in the front fender. So as we go, you'll see how you can kind of stretch and fit it. As you go, you may need to reheat to get appropriate stretching. But now, since we peeled this back, I can kind of just work this in. And since I know this end has got to be pulled this direction, I'm going to kind of start that work now and just do that a little bit at a time, so that by the time I get to the back, it should really almost be in the correct place. Just don't get in a hurry, and you'll kind of get a feel for it. The thumbs do get pretty tired, your fingers. Fatigue, I feel like results in wrinkles and air bubbles. Be patient. Not really that difficult, but patience is helpful. good. I'll hit that body line. Looks like we might have been able to move this, start it up just a little bit more looking at this, and maybe bring this down a touch. Just to center it in there, but when it's on, and obviously when you're riding, man, you don't know. Let's get the other side. Now I know that for the look I want to align this top curve so I can kind of stretch this decal along the way and then squeeze out any little wrinkles and air bubbles that might form along the way. I feel like the heating helps promote like a nice clean adhesion when you have to stretch the decal a little bit. So if that helps you and you kind of feel like, yeah, I keep putting it on and peeling it off and I'm not getting the fit I want, maybe try heating it up a little bit more and see if that helps. Okay, so far down here, the way I have to stretch it, I feel like there might be some little wrinkles, but we'll see how this looks once we heat this up to set the adhesive. I like this top layer to help protect the decal while you're manipulating it. Helps to keep it look cleaner. But it's a little harder to see air bubbles and wrinkles, and then I kind of have to go more out the feel. I'm curious what it'll look like once you pull this one off. I'm going a little bit slow, just for your own timing, like if you've done this, or by the time you do your second or third decal on your bike, you'll probably feel a little bit better than you did when you started. And you'll pick up the pace a little bit, but kind of a fun project. Let's see how we did. Maybe. Ben, can you come peel this? Here. Thank you. You want to peel it off? What do you think of it, girl?
Very satisfying.
Looks pretty good.
stretch it a little more, but it's not bad. Nice job.
I'm just showing people how to get air bubbles out. Did them on purpose. Sometimes that works if you can't squeeze them out.
like the perfect reveal.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping the image of everything. Learn variety.
I know exactly how you feel.